We have a new day. We have a new week beginning today. But the most special thing is that we are here like a family. In Jesus' body, in His kingdom. How was this last week for you? Only you and God know how it was. Maybe it was a difficult week. Maybe it was a successful week. Maybe you had problems. Maybe not. Maybe you have visitors in your house. Maybe you had a very good news. Maybe someone called you to give you a very special news. But for the most, we suffer. We have problems. We have difficulties. People in pain want help. All the time we're looking for help. One of my main concerns coming to the United States was, I was asking to God, God, please be with me. I don't want to be sick in the United States. It's very expensive to go to the doctor to get the medicine. In Colombia, when you are sick, you can go to a pharmacy. You don't need a prescription. You can go and talk to the man that is in front and say, I have a pain here, I have a pain over here, and he can tell you, well, you need to drink this, and the only thing that you have to do is just pay. You don't need a doctor prescription, because here it's very expensive to get a doctor's prescription than to get the medicine. You have pain. One of the pain is to pay to the doctor, other pain is to pay to the hospital, another pain is that you have to pay for the prescription. Well, I became sick. The first month when I was here, I got a gout. That's the word? Gout. I don't know why, but always when I come to the United States, that's the only problem that I got here. Maybe it can be the kind of the meal that I'm eating, or maybe was the milk or water, I don't know. But I was very concerned when I had to go to the medical service, thinking how much I was going to pay just to see the doctor. But as I said before, people in pain need help. That pain can be emotional or can be physical. Jesus, during his time here in earth, he found people, he encountered people in pain all the time. These people were desperate. So was in the Old Testament with the person that I would like to consider in my lesson this morning. Naaman. He was in need of healing. And he was healed in a way that was very rare, unusual. And that way, and that healing changed his life forever. I have to consider some topics taking this man like my example for the lesson this morning. His physical condition. Naaman was the military leader of one of the region's most powerful nations. He was a candidate for who is who in the world. He was the cream of the crop. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians 5, Naaman, commander of the army of the king of Syria, was a great man with his master, and he had faith, because by him the Lord had given victory to Syria. He was a mighty man of valor. What words that describe this man? A great man. He has a high favor with his master, and also he was a mighty man of valor. Great, highly regarded, victorious, valiant. We have a man that had power, position, prestige. He was successful. He was a winner. He was wealthy. He was a hero. He was respected. He was admired. He wasn't right. But he had a little difficulty, if we can call that little. He has a pain. The last part of this verse says to us that he was a leper. Each time when he wakes up every morning and looked himself, he was seeing only the big problem that he had, his leper. He was a great man, he was a great man, he was a mighty man, he had the high favor with his master, but he was a leper. Nothing could change that fact. And we're talking in a time when the leper had no cure. Okay, maybe the kids, they don't know this guy because it's from my generation. I want that we consider for a moment this man. Superman, Christopher Reeve. Movie star, wealthy, handsome, winner of awards and honors, respected, loved, and admired for outward fans. Once he was known as a Superman with power to mill steel, lift a tall building and fly into the heavens. And what happened to him? One day he was riding his horse, he had an accident, and he became paraplegic. Now, in a wheelchair, he defines his life. Well, he's dead now. But for my generation, when I was a boy, he was Superman. Everyone wants to be like him. I remember that someone liked to have that nickname, I am Superman. But this man, that day, had a big accident and became paraplegic. How was his life? In a wheelchair. Breathing through his throat, being fed through his throat. He couldn't move his hands, his legs, neither his head. Well, the fact is that he died in that condition. But in the movies, he was a Superman. And how was his end? Very sad. The fact is that Naaman was a leper. And we can call the leprosy of that time the AIDS of the Naaman's day. Lepers were isolated and humiliated. We have a town in Colombia, the name is Agua de Dios, God's water. And the special thing of this town, we have a Church of Christ now in this town. The special thing is that years ago was the town that was founded in Colombia for the lepers. In a family, if somebody became sick with leprosy, that was the place to take him there to live. When I went to Agua de Dios, to this town, my brothers told me that years ago, 20, 30 years ago, when somebody came with a relative, one member of his family, with this illness, they arrived to the town just in the entry of the town, put him in the street, and then go. And never see him again. But now it's safe to go to Agua de Dios. We have no problem to go in there. I have been there many times, visiting my brothers and sisters in Christ. And you remember very well, maybe, I suppose, that you know the law in the Old Testament about these people with leprosy. Well, just to remember, we can read in the book of Numbers, chapter 5, beginning in verse 2, command the people of Israel that they put out of the camp everyone who is leprous. Put out of the camp everyone. You have to isolate him. He has to be alone. He cannot be in contact with anybody else. You shall put out both male and female, pulling them outside the camp, that they may notify their camp, and in the midst of which I dwell. We as human beings, we are people that need to be in contact with the other people. We have feelings, we have emotions, we like to talk, we like to be with people around. Well, we know some people that they like to be alone. They go to live in the mountain by themselves. But normally, the big percent of people, we want to talk with everybody. We want to be in association with the other people, knowing them, talking, having a fun time. In Leviticus chapter 13, the law was very clear about them. The leprous person who has the disease shall wear torn clothes and let the hair of his head hang loose. And he shall cover his upper lip and cry out, unclean, unclean. Why he had to say that, unclean, unclean? Why he had to cry out, I am unclean, unclean? Trying to, that the other people avoid him. Not touch him. He shall remain unclean as long as he has the disease. He is unclean. He shall lie alone. His dwelling shall be outside the camp. I discovered my brothers now that I'm here in this country. I have been now for 3 months. I cannot be alone. I can't. I need somebody around me. I need somebody close to me. You know that in the beginning, 3 months ago, that was my office. I had to move to another place here. Because I tried to see somebody coming in and out or making noise. But now, can you imagine this person with this disease, crying, I am unclean, all the people around try to see you, that you are very real, that they can have no contact with you, that they have to escape from you. And he's saying, his dwelling shall be outside. He shall live alone. What's God that said in the beginning? It is not good that the man to be alone. We are humans. I don't have a pet. Most of you have dogs or cats. And I can see how these pets are so happy when you come to your house and they jump to you and you hug them and give them kisses and say, I love you, my dear. And some of you sleep with them. Because you need somebody with you. You need that somebody express to you that love you, that you are important for him. Now, can you imagine this person being alone out of the camp and crying all the time, unclean, unclean, because the way was, the reason why was that they had to avoid you. They cannot be in contact with you. They cannot touch you. The lack of touch hurt Naaman deeply. Like Naaman, we too long for meaningful touch. Can you imagine stumbling through life without being touched? I see the Japanese people when they are seeing other person, how they salute the other people, it's very polite. They do this. And you say, wow, that's very polite. But that's not the kind of greeting that I want. Like you say hello to your cat, your dog. Come on, jump on me. I am waiting for you, and you give to them kisses. That's something that I like also from my brothers and sisters, from my own family. I remember my little girls when I went to my house after working, that they saw me just entering to the apartment, and they came running and jumping into me, giving to me a big hug, a kiss, and saying, Dad, I love you. How special is that? Now can you imagine Naaman with his leper and nobody can touch him? Being alone? A warrior, a great man. Well, let me ask you, brothers. By the way, what is your hideous birthmark? What is your leprosy? What is the leprosy that you have that sometimes your brother and your sister, they don't want to give you a hug? They don't want to touch you. The second thing that we can learn from this story in the Old Testament about this man is the cure, the prescriptive cure. Where do you find help? When you have problems, when you are sick, when you have a difficulty, where do you go to find help? Where do you go for healing? In a war, we go down. While down is contrary to the direction we are encouraged, challenged, and even reward to go in our war. I want we notice the contrast in Naaman's journey. Naaman, the commander-in-chief, finds direction through a captive servant his wife's leg. Naaman, the conqueror, finds help in a conquering nation, Israel. Naaman, the highly regarded man, learned of his training from a lovely prophet, Elisha. Naaman, the wealthy and valiant soldier, is cured in a dirty river, the Jordan. Verse 10. And Elisha sent a messenger to him, saying, Go and wash in the Jordan 7 times, and your flesh shall be restored, and you shall be clean. What we can learn from this downward descent? Well, we can learn that we need people in our life who look for our healthiness to see our hope. The servant of his wife had been taken hostage from a raid into Israel. Now she's served in Naaman's home, tending to his wife every need. And she was not intimidated with Naaman, with his power, his position, or his prestige. She saw his pain. Call it by name. Knew of a pain reliever and told Naaman where he could find help. Verse 2. Now the Syrians on one of their rights had carried off a little girl from the land of Israel, and she worked in the service of Naaman's wife. She said to her mistress, Would that my Lord were with the prophet who is in Samaria, he will cure him of his leprosy. We need people in our lives who look past our healthiness to see our heart. We need humble people in our lives who look past us, who look past our jobs, titles, our bank accounts, our cars, and our houses, and see our loneliness and our need and our heart. We need people who will touch us at our point of need. We need people who will call our problems like they see them. We need people who see our blind spots. We need people in our lives who love us enough to not let us make stupid mistakes. We need people in our lives who will demonstrate the 4 C's of loving relationships. Concern, speak the truth in love to us. Commitment, walk through the pain with us. Confidentiality, know the struggles are kept between us. Consistency, maintain regular contact with us. Also, another thing that we can learn from this is that we need places in our lives that will provide us with safety and security. Israel was a conquered nation. To Naaman was a second-rate, third-world country. What did I have to offer? But for his condition was his refuge, his place of comfort. We need places like that in our lives, where we can go to relieve our pains, to get comfort. The nation of Israel is present through the scripture, through the Bible, as a metaphor for the church. The church is a safe place, a place that gives caring touch in an uncaring world, a place that provides sanctuary, protection, and comfort from those that would seek to assault, a place that extends a supportive and oftentimes healing hands to those in trouble. And I want to tell you, my brother, this morning, that every one of you that are here this morning, that is you for me. My pain, my suffering, my difficulty, you know that very well. I wake up every morning and fight with my bed. Moving from one side to the other one. And the first thing that I like to do is just turn on my cell phone and get a link to listen something from Colombia. And every Wednesday, every Saturday, now every Monday, every Thursday morning, I am so happy because I'm going to have a meeting with my brothers. That I'm going to see you, that I can tell you, how are you, how are my brother, let me give you a hug, I love you, I want to feel you, I want that you touch me, that I can touch you. I am a human being. I have emotions. I need to feel that I'm important. How good, how special it has been for me when this sister or that brother come to me and give me a hug. These little kids, when they saw me say, Mr. Jaime, Brother Jaime, and they come to me running and give me a hug, how special I feel in that moment, because I'm feeling that I'm alive, that I'm not alone, that I'm not out of the camp, that I am in the camp. That's you for me. That is your children for me. They're helping to me to survive, to continue. Because I want to be safe. I want to be with God. I don't want to be dead in desperation. Do you realize that we have people who come to our churches, to the altar, who do not get touched and they then come to church next week and to the altar again? When you come here, maybe on Wednesday, maybe on Sunday morning, what are you looking for? Just come here, look in your pew, that maybe have your name from many years ago, that you never change your place, and just sit there. You need that somebody touch you. Look your brother that is in your side, left or right. Touch his hands. Tell him, brother, I love you. Thanks for being here. You are special for me. You are an inspiration for me. You give me comfort. We are family. You are not alone. You are not out of the camp. You are not a leper. Sometimes people now, in this new time that we're living in this earth, with all the develops high technology that we have, that now we're making plans to go to Mars. How difficult it is for us to come to church, to be with my brothers and sisters, and get from them the touch that I need. Because some people, the only thing that I'm looking to there today is entertainment. They come to church just looking for that, for entertainment. By the way, do you talk with God when you come to me with the church? He is the one who wants to heal you, to touch you, to take you in his arms and hug you. Do you have pain? Do you have a difficulty? Do you have a problem? I'm a father. I have two daughters. And I remember when they were little ones, when someone came crying, Daddy, happened this to me, maybe a pain here because something wrong, somebody making something wrong. She was crying, and the only thing that I had to do was a kiss. And was enough. And I took her in my arms and gave her a hug and told her, you're going to be fine, don't worry. That's nothing. And that was the solution to his pain, to his cry. That's the thing that God wants to do with us. To take us, take me in his arms, and give me the most special hug that anybody can give. Don't be afraid to do that. You're not a leper. You don't have leprosy. You don't have to claim unclean, unclean. Everybody here, we are sinners. That's the reason why we're here today. Asking to God that forgive our sins. We are here to give him thanks. Remember now taking the Lord's Supper that Jesus died for us. That we have a new covenant, a blood covenant. He wants to take us in his arms. Also, so Naaman went in and told his Lord. Thus, and so spoke the girl from the land of Israel, and the king of Syria said, Go now, and I will send a letter to the king of Israel. So he went, taking him 10 talents of silver, 6,000 shekels of gold, and 10 chains of cloth. He went to the wrong guy. He went to the king of Syria. And the other thing, brothers, is that we can learn from this downward descent that we all need prophets in our lives who will point us to the truth. Maybe sometimes we don't like what they say. They are not very polite. They are not very soft in the way that they explain to us what we have to do. And we don't like it. Reading in verse 8, but when Elisha, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel had torn his clothes, he sent to the king, saying, Why have you torn your clothes? Let him come now to me, that he may know that there is a prophet in Israel. Naaman wanted that this prophet jump and shout and dance and put on a big show for his healing to occur. That is the thing that people are looking today when they go every Sunday morning to a religious group. And it's very popular now. That's the thing that people like it. Jumping and crying, Amen, who lives? This solution to the problem that Naaman had didn't like Naaman. We all need prescription for our lives that will lead to a healing touch. And that was the thing that Elijah made in this occasion. He told him, what you have to do is this. He was expecting other things. When you are coming here, my brother and sister, what you are expecting? What you are looking for? Just, hello, how are you? And then go back. You are my family. You are my brother. You are my mom. You are my father. You are my grandpa. You're my daughter. You're my children. How special for me is to have this family. I am not out of the camp. I was feeling like that weeks ago. I was feeling that I was crying, I am unclean, unclean. But no more. Now, no more. You can come to me and touch me. You can come to me. I want to go to you and give you a hug. I want to give you a kiss. 2 or 3 or 4, doesn't matter. Because I'm not a leper. I don't have leprosy. I am a brother in Christ that need you, that need your touch. I need your healing touch, your special touch. Maybe now you can see that my face, my attitude, my way to talk, I'm feeling more better now than 2 months ago. Because when you come to me and touch me, let me feel that I am alive and that you love me. Elisha sent a messenger to him saying, go and wash in the Jordan 7 times, and your flesh shall be restored, and you shall be clean. This prescription for healing was real for Naaman. Go wash 7 times in the Jordan River, and your flesh shall be restored, and you shall be clean. At the beginning he doubted, but he did it finally. We must believe that God ways is the better way than our own. Maybe not always we're going to understand His way, but by humbly obeying, we will receive His blessing. We will remember that God's way are best. God wants our obedience more than anything else. And God can use anything to accomplish His purpose. What we have to do now, my brothers, is the protesting confidence. What does it mean? Sometimes we think we want to do the things in our way. Because in some moment we consider that the God's way, they are wrong. They are not going to work. When he refused the prescription of Elisha, somebody came to Naaman and told him, but his servants came near and said to him, my father, it is a great word the prophet has spoken to you. Will you not do it? Has he actually said to you, wash and be clean? So he went down and dipped himself 7 times into Jordan, according to the word of the man of God, and his flesh was restored like the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. The Apostle Peter, when he was writing his first letter, said something like this in his own words, that we have to be humble. We cannot be arrogant. If we want to be with God, He's asking to us to be humble. Likewise, You who are younger, be subject to the elders. Clothe yourselves, all of you, with humility toward one another. For God upholds the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time He may exalt you. I need a touch. Do you? If we are honest with ourselves, we all here desperately need the touch of God. Will you and I humble ourselves before God so He can touch us? Humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God so that at the proper time He may exalt you. Will you and I obey? Will you and I be obedient to His instructions so He can heal us? Are you desperate? When we get desperate, we will go to whatever lengths necessary to experience the touch and feel the grace. Even when God says to humble ourselves by watching another to do it. We are going to sing the invitation song in a few moments. But if you are desperate, you need a healing touch. Mainly from God. That's the most important. But also, your brother, your sister, that is close to you, he can give you also a healing touch. It's very special. If you are not a member of the body, if you are not a son of God, this invitation is for you. Are you suffering? Are you in pain? Are you in problems? Do you have difficulties? Are you considering to finish with your life? Well, this is the moment to give God the opportunity to touch you, to give you a hug, to give you another way, another vision, because our goal is to be with Him forever. And my brother, if you have been in difficulties with God, if you have not been so faithful, the invitation is also for you. Anyone that decides to accept the invitation, just when we finish the invitation song, let us know. And we are here to help. Not only me, not only Matthew, everyone here. We are your family. You are the response to the prayers. And I invite you to be humble in front of me. Please stand up to see the invitation.